All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Delve and Dash right here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful dungeon master, which is true for probably about 25% of the time, I guess. Just ask my friends here.
Mm-hmm.
They will not.
Sure, if you say so.
I asked for it.
Welcome back, everybody. I want to just throw a quick shout out to our newest sponsors, Little Dragon Corp, for all of their awesome support. If you type in !Little Dragon in our Twitch chat, you can get a quick link to their website where you can order some awesome dice and other RPG related gear and equipment. Make sure you check them out. You can type in the coupon code BONUS during checkout and get 10% off of your order. Tonight is actually going to be a pretty special episode for this group because we are actually going to tie a nice little bow around this story arc tonight. So if you're tuning in for the first time, you're catching the kind of an end of an era here as we move into a new direction starting soon. And we'll make a more formal announcement of what we're going to be doing coming up at the end of tonight's episode. So stick around so you guys can see exactly what's going to happen to our Delve and Dash crew after this nice little package and seal has been sealed and we get ready for this next journey. Last we left off, you guys were enjoying a fancy banquet at a noble estate in a great ballroom, sitting at a round table draped in ornate tablecloths and delicious food presented in front of you, lobster tails and just imagine the greatest food you've ever tasted, probably. Franklin was sitting at a table with these two new characters that we've got that have been summoned here, Zin and Dusk. And Raz has just discovered that this Lady Palir is sitting at the host's table upon the stage, next to who you guys presume is the Lady of the Estate, known as Miss Foxguard. She was holding up this amulet that Silver was wearing for an extended amount of time during our travels that he discovered in the swamps of the Evermoors. And currently, Zin is holding, it seems to be some kind of replica of this medallion in his hands as we take it back to the table where you guys all sit. Anyone doing anything at this moment, or?
Probably just inspecting the medallion that he has in his hand.
Okay.
Very thoroughly.
Okay.
Waiting for the catch.
Waiting for the
Looks fake.
Looks fake.
Raz is scheming.
Raz is scheming. Lady Foxguard holding this thing up in front of everybody. Now, there are groups of adventurers all around. There are circle tables filled up, about 4 to 5 to table. You can tell there are wizards and other sorcerers. You can tell there are other fighters. They've got equipment. They've got bows. They've got arrows, crossbows. You can see some of them. Zin, you might even be able to tell that some of these items that some of these people have are magical and ornate in nature. As you're seeing all these different varying groups gathered from all over Faerun, different races as well. You see all these different mixtures of different sorts of groups and people. She holds this up in front of everybody and just sharing. This is a key to something very important. The problem is this is only piece of the key. There are other pieces scattered across all of Toro. We're looking for groups to find these pieces. As you're milling over your desserts, please take the time to think about it and talk it over. If you choose to, We will meet for more detailed discussion. And she slowly sets the amulet down onto the table, right beside her. You can see her sit down, and quickly one of the other women slides her chair in underneath her so she doesn't have to pull in her own chair. And she sits down, and immediately servers begin to bring out what looks to be a delicious red velvet cake. Slices on plates.
I don't eat it.
Sets it right down in front of Franklin. Franklin kind of gives the cake a dirty look as it gets put down in front of him.
You see little paws come out of my scarf to reach for the cake, and I smack them. Like, very gently.
Very gently?
Yeah.
That was a pretty aggressive slap for really gently.
Well, that was my hand, you know?
It seems like everybody at the host table up on the stage is enjoying their meal. Or did I can't remember. Did they walk off stage and it was just her, I think? Can't remember. It might have been that way. It was 2 weeks.
No, I don't
I'm not
think you
sure.
said that everyone walked away. I think they were all just eating
They were
up there.
just eating? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
It's one detail I couldn't remember. Yeah, but they're enjoying their red velvet cake. Looks like they're having some discussion between the groups. Seems like there's a murmur of discussion between all the tables around you. The other adventurers kind of milling over this. You can hear some people kind of arguing at the table next to you, kind of like, well, why didn't we get more information about this? You know, and why are we having like separate meetings? You know, and then some other tables are discussing truly taking it on because hey, could be an opportunity to make some money.
Well, I'm gonna turn to Zim. Well, it looks like this might be kind of a dead end. I'm not really into the treasure hunting game.
Yeah, and I don't like putting puzzle pieces together, so...
We are saying this. We aren't like whispering or anything either. So.
Okay. Yeah,
but-
and Franklin and Raz are still at the table, basically ignoring each other.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cast Detect Magic and look around.
Okay, you detect magic. I think that just gives you like the schools of magic, right?
It'll show up what's magical, and then I can figure out the schools.
Yeah, a couple tables over, you see an archer wearing some bracers that are glowing magic. There is another table over, or couple tables over across from you that seems to be somebody's wearing a magical ring.
I'm mostly focusing on the lady up front and the guards around us.
What's the range of detect magic? Is it 30 feet?
30 feet, but I have no problem getting up and walking around.
Okay, yeah, so Franklin just stands up out of his chair and just starts moseying around. Are you taking your red velvet cake plate with you?
No,
Okay.
it gets left.
Okay.
Is your little turtle out right now? Or little frog?
I am a turtle.
Little frog, I
Oh,
mean.
Jibby.
Is he out? Because he kind of just sits on my shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, he can be if you want him to be.
Sure.
I kind of,
If I see him,
imagine Jibby might jump down on your plate and start eating the red velvet cake.
If that's what he wants to do, I don't stop him.
Boink. He bounces off his shoulder and just dives into it.
if I see him, I can't understand him. But as a furbolg, I have speech of beast and leaf, so I can communicate with him.
Okay.
And I have
Like how,
advantage on charisma checks to influence him.
like how, like basic communications, like simple concepts and feelings. Is that what it is, or is it like?
It just says I can communicate with him.
Okay. Okay.
Someone just, hey there, little guy. I'm gonna wave at him.
He looks at you. His face is covered with frosting. And he just goes, hey.
All right, that's it. I'm just gonna go back to
He
eating.
just starts
That's a
diving back
weird
down.
frog.
He just starts eating again.
Well, I'm paying close attention to this turtle as he walks around
Yeah.
after seeing him cast a spell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you get some
Just-
more pings, Franklin. Somebody apparently has seems to be some kind of magical potions in his backpack that's sitting up against his chair as you're walking by. A woman kind of dressed in some dark leathers. You pass by one table. It seems to have a dagger on her, or attached to her boot that seems to be beaming with some magical energy. As you get closer up to the noble tables, you can see that the guards that are standing next to the hand of Yartar guards that are standing near the stairs are just watching you mill around as you're the only one really in the room that's like walking around and wandering.
And he doesn't understand how awkward this is.
And as you get closer to the medallion definitely is pinging magical energy. I believe it is. Oh gosh, I don't have my book that has that in here with me. It's back on my shelf. Do you have that on your sheet? Old sheet?
Nope.
Nope. You don't have it?
I mean, I have the amulet written down. I have to bring up silver.
It would probably ping multiple magics?
Yeah, it should be multiple probably because it can change.
It can change based on the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it does have magic coming from it. You can't pinpoint like any single, like no one school of magic jumps out. It seems like there's a blend. It doesn't feel extremely powerful to you, Franklin, but that doesn't mean that if it was reunited with its other pieces, that might increase its power.
Does it look like any of the items that I need for my stuff? Or remind me of any of it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't seem like something that Franklin would have a use for or need for.
Okay, Franklin will just finish out the 10 minutes of the spell walking around.
Okay. Yeah.
And then go take his seat again.
Okay. Yeah, you get some other pings of different varying other potion bottles. Looks like a wizard is milling over some papers, and you can see there's a glow coming from a scroll that he just rolled back up and is sticking into the side of his backpack. So just little pings here and there. What you would find on, your typical level 4 and 5 adventuring parties as you're milling through. And Franklin returns to his seat. Is Raz still there by the time he gets back?
How long has it been cake eating time?
Franklin's probably been walking around for 10 or 15 minutes, so they probably gave you about... It looks like most of the nobles have finished or have left a little bit left on their plate, but of, doing the typical leaning back on their chairs instead of, eating over their plates, and it looks like all their silver spoons that they eat from are sitting down on their plates and things like that.
Okay, then I would like to excuse myself from the table.
Okay.
And slowly approach the head table, but not going directly at it like Zin did.
I guess kind of imagine like a stage that has stairs on both sides. Like if you went to a theater and you saw the stage was in the middle and there were steps on both sides. That's kind of what this place is set up like, and the table would be like right in the middle of the stage up top.
Okay. Which side is Lady Pelir on?
It would be to Raz's right. Right center, basically.
Then I would like to approach the left-hand stairs.
Okay.
And sort of talk to the ladies who are, I'm assuming, guarding that staircase.
Yeah. You run into a few ladies that are obviously members of the Hand. These women you've not seen before, you've not come across. But they, as you approach, they look towards you and, can we help you?
Yes, I would like to request an audience with Lady Foxglove, please. Or Foxguard. Oops.
What for?
I don't request it now. I would request for it at a private time later on, but I would just like to let her know of an offer that is on the table.
Is this in regards to the medallion?
Not necessarily. However, it is definitely something that would interest her.
Give us a few minutes to speak with her.
Of course.
I know she's got a lot going on right this moment as she's trying to get these adventurers squared away to go after these key shards.
And as I said, it does not need to be right now, but if it could be either before the night is out or perhaps early tomorrow morning, I would appreciate that.
Okay. Well, let's as soon as she's done with her dessert, we'll figure it out.
Thank you. If you could let her know that it is Tiva's daughter that is asking, I would appreciate it.
Tiva's daughter?
Yes.
Sure. We'll let her know.
Thank you very much. And Raz is not going to go back and sit down at the table.
Okay.
Because it's a little tense there right now.
It is.
So she is just going to go towards sort of the back wall and just lean against it and just sort of observe.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you make your way to the back. It seems like there are a few other Hand of Yartar girls back there, kind of like guarding the doors a little bit too in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably pretty standard for a place like this.
Yeah. So I would just kind of go join them.
Okay.
Give whatever sort of hand signal proves that I'm one of them, and so.
Like Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff come in to scream together. It's like, psh. Do that.
Sure, I don't know what that's referencing.
Wow.
Oh man,
God.
I'm old. I know. I'm showing my age.
No,
That depresses me a little bit.
Okay, we didn't have a TV or anything when I was growing up. I didn't understand the internet until I was like in 7th grade.
It's all good. I need to get out of being so dang old. Is what I need to stop referencing things people don't understand. I know. Where's the fountain of youth? Come on. So Raz is leaning up against the back wall, just observing this whole moment. It seems like, Raz, what you're seeing is some of the tables are actually getting up, putting their napkins down on the tables, gathering their gear, and basically turning around and walking out of the place. Like, it seems like some of the groups are saying, nah, you know what? I don't want to do this. And they took the time to at least hear out what was going on a little bit, and then they said, nah, this isn't for me. And it looks like a lot of groups are, you can hear the screeches of the chairs across the wooden floor as they are basically getting up and gathering their gear, and some of them are leaving. Some, you see, there are about 7 or 8 groups that seem to be still milling it over at the tables as they're talking. And Franklin, you've rejoined Zin and Dusk at the table. Is there anything you guys would be chatting about at this moment as you're still kind of milling over this whole situation?
You want to take that caravan job?
What? I'm sorry. I keep freezing. Oh, I didn't hear anything what anybody said.
You want to take that caravan job that we saw on the way in?
I think that is probably the plan that would best suit us. Maybe
Probably a
check
lot
out another
better than
city.
this. Yeah.
Once Franklin sat back down, though, I'm gonna turn to him and. So what was all that about? Saw you cast something and.
It's best to know what you're surrounded by.
That is
That's
very
a good
true.
point. Yep.
I have no reason to help.
Help who?
I think he's talking about the job that they're offering
I
here.
blatantly and obviously point at Foxguard.
No, I don't.
It
I
looks
don't.
like I'm threatening her, but Franklin's not. But
I don't think many people would. They didn't even list a price for the stuff right off the bat. It's normal quest business. You give a price.
Yeah, at
Just
least
that you would avoid us.
starting price or something, and they don't even
Yeah,
offer in almost no information on anything.
not even a copper.
I mean, at least we got some good food out of it, at least.
Yep, and some silverware.
Are you gonna take the silverware?
I already took 3 sets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You can sell that later.
yep. I'll mage hand another one. I steal another one.
It's off the table next to you. They've already left, so you're just like this little mage hand, like just starts gleaming with arcane energy and grabs a couple silver spoons from the dessert plates. They float in midair, dropping some red velvet cake crumbs onto the floor as they reach your hands in.
Put them in my backpack.
You can go ahead and add 4 sets of silverware to your inventory.
Perfect.
Well, Franklin, that was your name, correct, Franklin?
yes,
You cool with me calling you Big Turtle?
I don't care.
All right, Big Turtle. Good to know.
Sorry, your friend that was sitting here, or not friend, I don't know, whatever your all's deal was, didn't really say anything when they got up. But I don't know. Is there anything else that you can do? I mean, like you said, we were looking for probably gonna look for caravans to guard on the way to another
Unfortunately.
city.
I'm just gonna start druid crafting flowers around me.
Perfect. You know, that's
Like on the
awesome.
table,
really scary.
everything.
Yep.
Is there anything else? But I mean, or can you only make flowers? Any other specific skills?
I can do a bit of healing.
That's
Always use healing. Yep. That's good.
Well,
Are you
you're more
bored?
than welcome to join us if you want to. Like I said, we're just gonna probably catch a caravan out of the city.
Yeah, if you're bored, you can just come walk with us. Or ride, I guess.
Being with you is probably better than you.
Oh, I'm sorry, you went robot a second. Let me see.
I kind of made out what he said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can
Okay,
see if I can switch this over.
you guys-
Let's see if I can switch this to central real quick. Oh,
You
I
completely lost.
made it worse. I
You completely lost.
made it worse.
Good job. You got
I
it.
made it worse. I'm sorry, people on Twitch. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Okay.
Can you hear us?
hello?
Okay. Yes, I can hear
I'm
you.
sorry, I made it worse. It's-
No, it's okay. It's better
Oh no, no.
with you. It's better than he.
That's a good point. Probably is better than here. Looks like we're hanging out with you, Big Turtle. You better get prepared. You know, it's a pretty long caravan.
Lead the way.
Dusk, it's about this time, before you even get out of this conversation, you hear a familiar voice in your mind. It says, "Hello, Dusk. It's Lewison. Join me at a pair of Black Antlers Tavern in El Terrell. I have some work for you. Different but high paying.
So this was a message? I'm sorry, because I didn't catch the first part.
It was, hello, Dusk. It's Leosin. Join me at a pair of Black Antlers Tavern in El Terrell. Said, I have some work for you. Different, but high paying. And yes, that was a message, and that was exactly 25 words.
Gills.
Well, I will reply. It will take some time to get there, but I will be on my way.
Okay.
And I'll turn to Zen. Well, it looks like we have a job opportunity.
Sounds great.
It's going to be quite a long journey, though, unfortunately.
We already are going on one.
Yeah. But looks like we have some money-making opportunities.
Perfect. I love money.
Who doesn't?
That's true.
Well, Franklin, you coming with us?
Like I said, it's better than here.
He likes money too.
All right. Look at that.
All right. So
You want to say bye to your friend?
We are not friends.
Good.
Okay, then.
Let's just go then.
So as you guys stand up and gather your gear, you're making your way towards the exit doors, where Raz is about 25 feet away from the exit door. It's now open. The Hand of Yards are holding it open for other groups that are passing through. And would there be any dramatic moment of last minute eye contact between Franklin and Raz as Franklin is leaving with Zin?
Ignores her existence.
Okay.
She does not exist.
Also ignores existence.
There is a very aggressive backhanded toss of the conjured necklace
Okay.
back behind me all the way back to the stage.
Okay.
And as it hits the ground, it like poofs because it took damage probably.
Yeah, when it lands, it just
Yeah.
dissolves in a powdery smoke.
But it looks threatening at first.
Oh, yeah.
As we walk past Raz, I'll yell over to her. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, really nice hearing no actual direct conversation.
Raz
You have a
does
great
not
day.
move at all.
Doesn't even turn her head.
Nope. Does not acknowledge in any way.
Zin and Dusk, you both just got the terrible cold shoulder as you walk by.
I'm sorry, Raz is focused on something else that is much more important to her right now.
So you guys make your way out of the noble estate, moving your way through the city streets, looking for the tavern or the caravan job that you guys were looking into. That you guys would know enough about that you could definitely get hired onto a caravan, and even like in different cities, like switch over to other caravans if you needed to move on to take other work. So easy enough. Dusk, you've probably done it before. Just a way, as a means to get from one place to another, and it was a way to get some money. So you definitely have experience. You probably drugged Zin on maybe one or two of these against his will.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, we've been together for like 14-ish years,
Well, then,
so
yeah,
He's
at
definitely
least
been on some.
So you guys make your way with your new big turtle friend, Franklin, who seemed to show you a few of his abilities there at the table. Raz, eventually you see that most of the nobles and the people that are sitting at the main table started to basically get up and leave. They go between some curtains and go backstage area. It seems like Lady Foxguard is still there with Lady Pelir and just maybe like one or two others. And you see the woman that you had spoken to earlier goes up and starts whispering into Lady Foxguard's ears, and she glances back towards you, and
I would nod when, like, just acknowledgement.
As she looks from across the room, she does give you a nod back, and then you watch her. She's just staring at you, and she stands up, and she, like, it's kind of like her whole body turns except for her eyes, almost as if, like, kind of like the staple, hey, come back here, we need to talk. And she turns around and walks back, leaving Lady Pelir and a couple other nobles sitting there just having... They might have had a couple glasses of wine too much, and they're just indulging a little bit. As Lady...
Is my mother still at the head table?
She's not. She actually got up and she moved back there as well.
Okay.
It seems like there's only a couple tables left of adventuring parties. It doesn't seem like this quest has... It seems like Lady Foxguard may have been too generic with her presentation, and a lot of the adventuring groups were... some of them probably don't want anything to do with it. So...
Raz is gonna sort of do that thing where, like, when you're leaning against a wall, like, in order to stand up straight, where you sort of, like, kick your shoulders back to use it momentum to get forward instead of, like, using your hands.
Oh, yeah.
And then is just gonna sort of saunter over and up onto the stage and out the back.
Yeah, you see, as you're approaching the stage, those two women that you talked to earlier kind of just back off and let you go. And when you make it to the backstage area, your mother is actually sitting in a very elegant-looking couch in what looks to be just kind of like a relaxing room back there, just kind of milling over some conversation. Lady Foxguard is actually in a chair beside her. There's no other of these nobles around, but you do hear some conversation from down the halls. It's almost as if, like, they're just milling about, having a good time. She looks towards you and... Tiva, so... This is that daughter that you've been talking about so much. She looks basically back towards us. Yeah, this is my daughter. And you look like Mags, right?
Yes. Okay. I think that was where we were at last time.
And I think you introduced yourself as Mags and everything to these people.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and so she looks at you. Tiva looks at you. Says, "Yeah, this is my daughter Mags." And she basically invites you to sit on the couch next to your mother.
Raz will move sort of over towards the couch, but she does not sit down.
Okay.
This is too important to be sitting before.
Sure. So, Miss Foxguard looks at you. So, I hear that you need to talk to me.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it that troubles you?
Nothing troubles me, actually. I wish to offer you my services.
Tiva kind of looks up at you, really kind of suspiciously, as you start talking. like, what is she doing?
Fine. It's okay, Mummy. I know what I'm doing. Maybe.
But she doesn't. She doesn't interrupt. She just lets you go.
Mm-hmm. I am well aware of the power that you hold in both roles that you are fulfilling. And I think that I have something that would be of use to you in one, but most likely both of those roles and titles.
You do?
I do.
I'm intrigued and interested. Please tell me more.
I don't know how much my mother has told you about my past or my accomplishments. I have been a member of, should I say, one of the most powerful groups in the lower reaches of the city. And I'm just going to sort of bow towards her, like, obviously.
You're pouring it on thick, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love it. She recognizes your bow, kind of bows her head slightly and smiles. Well, she has told me great things about you, Mags. She's told me that your training has gone excellently. And that within no time she felt that you were going to be moving up the ranks.
I feel now might be a time to maybe jump a few lines.
Jump a few lines?
And at that point, Mags disappears, and Lady Foxglove is looking at a face that is a mirror image of her own.
She has that same facial expression on her face, but you can almost see in the back of her eyes, like this stunned look, as she's still kind of caught in a grin, and then all of a sudden, like, realizes what just happened. Huh.
For you see, I have a gift. And I think it is well within reason to say that with my gift and your connections and assets, there is almost nothing that we could not accomplish. And I'm going to then start rotating through all the faces that were at the front table. Just, like, flashing across them, like, a second apiece. Just all of them.
It's at that moment that you catch a glimpse out of your peripheral. You can see your mother isn't looking towards her, but you can see your mother start to just get this slow smile start to appear on her face as she starts to see what's going on and what you're doing and what's happening. And the more you keep switching, the facial expression from Lady Foxguard goes from stunned to crazy sadistic teeth, just shining bright white, smiling on her face. And she looks towards you and says, "So, I must say, very few have learned how to skip a couple of rungs, but I might just go ahead and say it to you, to your face. You've skipped several of them, my dear." And she looks over to Tiva. I think we're going to be some of the most powerful people in this city, and I think we're going to be some of the most powerful people in all of the North. And she just smiles at both of you and says, "Come with me. I need to show you both something." And she stands up.
I am going to revert to Mags.
Back to Mags, okay.
That does not raise suspicion when we walk out.
Sure. She starts walking, and eventually after walking, you realize that she picks up probably about 4 bodyguards. They're just probably standing about 20 feet away from her at all times. And they're just kind of other Hand of Yartar women that just kind of follow behind or walk beside, just... It's kind of like if you don't really, like, look around, like, you don't notice, but they're really good at their job. Yeah. She basically, like, walks you down a bunch of corridors within this cellar of what is her manor or estate. And you end up in front of a very large painting. The painting is odd because it depicts a massive castle set with a darkish purple sky backdrop. The sky is filled with what looks to be dark painted birds that wrap around the top spires of the castle. As you look closer to the castle, you realize the castle itself is not made from stone, but it is made from what appears to be roots and vines that have just wrapped itself together and reach up like claws up towards the spires, towards this purplish sky. And she just stops and stands in front of it for a moment. It's a huge painting. It kind of comes down to the floor and almost up to the ceiling. And it's in a frame of just pure, like, imagine a frame that from an old painting that's just like gold and decorative all around. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Magnificent.
And she nods at a couple of her bodyguards and they disappear. Now this is...
Like disappear, or just go away,
they just
disappear?
turn around and walk away.
Okay.
And then she looks towards you and Tiva and it's like, now I'll show you the truly beautiful part. And she looks towards you, then turns towards the painting and walks right into it and disappears.
I'm going to give a quick grin to my mother, and then I'm going to walk through.
All right. As you walk through, you walk into this, what looks to be a dark chamber that's illuminated by a greenish torchlight all around. Ahead of you looks to be a throne room of some sorts as you walk in. And there are these massive pillars that look like they're carved with ravens, like zapping all around, flapping all around these pillars. And you can see on that throne as she's walking forward, Lady Foxguard does not look the same that she did before. She has this grayish complexion to her flesh. You can definitely tell that she's an elf because now her beautiful blonde hair has been replaced by this strange, dark, kind of really, kind of like, almost looks like the hair you'd see on a doll, so to speak, more like really stringy. And she looks completely different. Her skin, her complexion, she does not look as beautiful as she did before she walked through this painting. And you feel just this odd sense of dread come over you. It's just like this feeling like you're in another area, you're in another space. And it's dark and gloomy. And you can see out the windows, you can see a landscape that is just covered in a mystical gray light outside. And the trees are all just black and leafless as they surround this place. And she just comfortably goes up and sits on this, seems to be a rather subtle throne area. It's not a huge throne room or anything of that matter, but she sits down and welcomes you guys to come a little bit closer. She looks at you and she says, "Welcome to the realm of the one in which we serve. You see, we've been here for many years, collecting and passing on souls and memories to feed her desires. This is what the Hand of Yartar does. This is what we have been doing, and this is what we will continue to do. Because the Queen wills it."
Raz is going to step forward, and she's sitting in the throne.
Yeah, she's comfortably
Okay.
in the throne. It's just a couple steps that lead up to it, but
Raz is going to go to the bottom of the steps.
okay.
And is going to kneel.
Mm-hmm. She just looks down at you as, "I can't wait to see how far you will go, my dear. Looks back at Tiva. Tiva, I've been worried for a while about you, but I think with this new alliance, we're gonna need everybody on board. And she smiles a little bit, stands up from her throne, comes to you, Raz, and kind of picks you up from kneeling, and basically looks straight into your eyes and says, well, it's time that we get started. And she just walks you over closely to like one of the windows and just kind of just watches out the window and just is like pointing out like some landmarks.
Mm-hmm.
And just, you know, Tiva's just watching behind in awe as she's basically taking you in and just showing you this expanse. And you can tell you're in a completely different world.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to ask, what plane of reality are we on?
You are somewhere, you're not on, you would be able to know going through that, you are not on the material plane anymore. You are somewhere different. And we hear the clopping of hooves and horses and wagon wheels as Zin, Dusk, Franklin are headed out of a caravan that is headed towards the small village of Tribor, which is about 2 days' travel from Yartar as you guys leave the city gates on a mission. You guys are basically going to go to Yartar first, travel all the way down to Waterdeep, then basically go from Waterdeep all the way down towards El Terrell from there. It's a massive journey. It's going to take you probably a month and a half to 2 months on this journey. Is there anything else that you guys would want to discuss or talk about as you guys are pulling out of Yartar here and heading into the next adventure that you have in store for you?
No, nothing.
No? Is Zin still incredibly miserable that he's taking on this?
Yeah, he's like walking, like just staring at the sky, dragging his feet, you know.
And this might be Franklin's first caravan guarding job, I believe. Would this be your first?
It probably is.
Would. Yeah.
He spent a lot of time alone, traveling alone, so...
And this will be probably as far away from Franklin's, where he called his hermit home, as you're going to be traveling about 1,000 miles south of... So this is probably a pretty... But Franklin's more kind of like a go-with-the-flow kind of guy. I don't think he's... Would he be kind of like... Would he be a real, like... Would he have, like, a lot of heavy emotions on him as he's getting farther and farther away from of what he knows?
No, he's a hermit.
Yeah.
He's used to kind of just packing up and going.
Packing up and going, good.
So,
yeah.
he's packing up and going.
Packing up. Here I go again on my own. No, it's just, I can't do that.
I feel like the most that would happen is we would. I feel like Zin, maybe Dusk, but Zin definitely. Whenever we pick up somebody new into our group, so to speak.
Yeah.
That Zin would like do his best to try to like get to know that person and let that person know him.
Okay.
Not too deeply.
Yeah.
But just like general stuff.
Kind of break the ice a little bit and just get to know them. Okay. Well,
that's the same.
Same with Dusk too. Dusk that type where just get to know them, because caravans, you know, they pick up, they drop off. You know, you're going to be getting new people involved. A lot of them are just merchants traveling to bigger cities with their wares to try to sell at the marketplace. Some are families relocating throughout different parts because something happened to their estate or something happened to their homes. Not everybody that you travel with is another adventuring group. Most of them are just, you know, to and fro travelers just heading here to do business and then travel back to their hometowns or wherever their farmlands are and things like that. So you guys are heading out to those familiar sounds of clopping hoof prints and wagon wheels as they make their way onto the dirt roads and the cobblestone, out of the cobblestone streets of Yartar and into the dirt roads. Raz, You are brought back out of this painting eventually. And that sense of dread that came over you from inside is immediately wiped away as you see yourself back in this area. Somebody rushes up to Lady Foxguard. It's Katana. Looks at her. She looks like she's in a little bit of a panic. Lady, Lady Foxguard, excuse me. The bodies are gone. And she looks at her. What? What do you mean the bodies are gone? No, I went to the storage room where we were keeping them to get them ready to transfer over to the caskets that you had, but they're not there. She just looks at her. Looks at you, Raz. Looking all around, and then eventually you all like rush to this room where supposedly these bodies were kept. And she opens up the door, and sure enough, when you guys walk in, Silver and Vix, their bodies are gone. There's no sign.
Raz is going to look around for any candles.
Make a perception check.
Was it my shadow? No! My shadow saved us!
That is a 19 plus something, 6. That's a 25.
You go in and subtly start to look around. Now they put their bodies in basically a basic room, like one of the rooms that maybe Franklin kind of stayed in whenever they were there. Just kind of stowed them away here until they could get done with whatever that was done with this event that she was having, and then they were going to settle it. You go through, and tucked underneath one of the mattresses, you find the candle that Vix stole out of one of those you remember the lady that you guys were helping in the forest during the swamps? And he took a candle from that. It's like I think it was like a green candle or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was a green one.
You see that green candle is tucked underneath that mattress. Nobody has seen you find it.
Yeah. Raz is gonna sort of pick it up, keeping it hidden from everyone else, sort of smile, and then is just going to tuck it away for the future.
And then as Raz tucks this away, she takes one last glance inside the room just to make sure, and slowly closes the door, and thus closes the door on this story arc of our adventure as our episode tonight comes to a close.
What happened to my baby? Where did my baby go?
So
I want to know what plane I ended up on.
I have a guess as to what plane you were on, but
I don't know enough about D&D lore to have any idea.
You guys, you never know. We'll have to find out. Maybe sometime in the future when we bring Raz and perhaps Vix and Silver back for a little. You never know when a one-shot adventure is going to call for some of this stuff. You know? So I always like to keep my options open.
Because, I mean, Raz is definitely, at some point, once she finds someone she trusts who knows magic, going to get someone to, like, cast locate person using this candle to find where Vix is. Like, that's definitely a thing that's down the line.
Yeah, that might be a one-shot adventure for you to use this candle to try to... You grab some other adventures to go find Vix. That'd be so cool. Oh, Daxter51 slowly gets some popcorn to not miss nothing. Oh, thank you, Dax. We appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight to this episode where we kind of end this Yartar story arc that we've had going on. our announcement that we wanted to make is this group is going to be moving on to play Tyranny of Dragons. Delve and Dash is going to be diving in head first to Tyranny of Dragons as they are headed to El Terrell to meet with this individual that Dusk knows named Leosin. And there they will discover a new story arc for their characters. Ani will be playing a new character, which we will meet the next time we get our adventure going. Franklin will be joining this wonderful group as well. I can't wait to see how this all works out as we get this new party put together. It's going to be a couple months of travel. In the meantime, I think we probably 100% are going to take next week off because I have a lot of production stuff that I have to adjust for the new story arc. I'm going to redo our overlay for Twitch. I'm going to redo some character art. I am going to redo the intro video for this program, so I've got to do a lot on the technical side of things to get things ready. So give me an extra week because I'm a busy, crazy guy. So I've got to do all that stuff. So just my players, since we're still on stream. First of all, I thought everybody's characters from the first portion of this adventure were pretty amazing. I mean, you guys did an excellent job really bringing these guys to life, despite the hardships that we ran into here recently. But I must tell you, as a dungeon master, I left things very open. So don't feel like this isn't goodbye. This isn't goodbye. So, what are your takes? What do you guys think?
I had a lot of fun. I felt the party drama was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If I were in Raz's situation, I would have made the same choice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So
she had a tough call.
It was a hard choice to make. It really is.
That hurt Ani the player, but it was the right thing for Raz the character.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough decision because I have to admit I probably would have made the same choice. You're watching two of your compatriots and people who are, Vix was pretty strong when he would always, somehow Vix always managed to get the killing blow somehow.
Yeah.
So hard power.
I kept one-shotting your boss monsters for a while.
Yeah, one-shotting my boss monsters. I had to raise all their HP because of it. Ultimately, that was the downfall of the group and us. You guys got a little overpowered there. Well, but you guys are like, your character progression and the things that you were doing and the decisions you were making were pretty cool. And I loved how you guys really started to get into this like detective dynamic once you got to Yartar. It was like Vix got really inspired. He wanted to know what this love story was all about, and he wanted to like liberate this whole situation, I think, based on his past. So I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I'm really sad that we didn't get to see the end of my baby boy's detective work.
But
it happens.
I'm sure we'll see some things happen in the past or in the future, and we might even be able to play with things as far as like going back and forth in time and things like that with your characters and discovering where they ended up and what happened. Who knows?
Because I mean, once you add different planes of existence, time travels differently.
It's different. It's totally different. You know. I mean, just because Silver and Vix are no longer on the material plane, that doesn't mean they're not somewhere else.
Hey, we don't know that.
Now their
our bodies just moved.
And now their bodies are missing, so no one knows where they are.
Necromancy!
Well, we're going to go ahead and close things out tonight. Is there anything else that I need to say or do before we finish up our stream so we can get out of the way for Mystic Hour? I think she is playing Detroit Become Human again tonight. So if you guys get a chance, hang out here for another 20 minutes or so, and Christy Mystic Water will be jumping on and doing some really, really cool video game playthrough that she's been dabbling in, so you get to hang out with her for a while. And in 2 weeks, we'll be back for Delve and Dash Tyranny of Dragons
2.0.
style. As
Without our dragons, rip.
Yeah.
Without the we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Trust me, if you're looking for D&D, traditional D&D with dragons, Tyranny of Dragons is the adventure to go into. So if you like dragons, tune in every Thursday. We are going to see dragons.
And lots of them.
Lots of them.
Different sizes, shapes.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. So make sure you guys, until then, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, and we will see you guys for our next story arc of Delve and Dash. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.